what's up? Today is episode 6 of One Tired Teacher, and we are talking about self-care. And yes, it's one of those topics that we often neglect, and we neglect ourselves because we're doing all the hustle and bustle for everyone else. But today we're going to talk about taking care of ourselves. So I hope you stick around.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Debery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Debery.
So, we are talking about self-care today, and self-care is one of those topics that we know is so essential to our mental well-being, yet we feel like we never have enough time. It's kind of like when you need gas in your car and you're like, I gotta get gas, but I don't have time to stop. That's kind of what it feels like when you're talking about self-care. And eventually we run out and we're left stranded on the side of the road and we have to call for help. And that's kind of a little bit like what we're talking about today. Because as teachers, we just get so tired in the end of the year, kind of like the end of the actual year, not the end of the school year, but the end of the physical year. And because we're working like crazy from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and it's just insanity. And it's the kind of tired that you can't even explain unless you have been in education. And so now we're getting ready to move into the holidays, which it's not like a really big rest time. It's actually a go, 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 got to get more done time. And this is actually time that we're trying to get things done for our own family. So what are some things that we can do during this hectic holiday time? First, we can try to make a self-care schedule. I know that sounds crazy and like maybe you're so scheduled to death during the regular school year that you don't want to schedule during your break, but I think it's important to at least put on your calendar at least 3 times that you are going to do something just for yourself. Because if you schedule it, you know it's so much more likely to happen than if you just wing it. And I want you to aim for at least 3 things that you're going to do. 3 really isn't too much in the 2 weeks that you have off. And I promise if you take care of you, you will be able to take care of others. If you have to, think of it like you're giving your family and your students in 2019, you're giving them the gift of you because you've been well rested or you've been taken care of or you've done actually something for yourself. You've been kind to yourself. Here are some ideas for taking care of yourself. First of all, this is the most important one in my opinion, and that is to sleep in. And yes, I know there's a lot of things to do over the break, but try to give yourself at least 8 hours of sleep every single day and take one day where you totally sleep in until you wake up. And don't set an alarm. Like you actually have one day, and you can find one day that you can sleep in. It will do you a world of good. And how about starting an exercise routine? Yes, it's almost 2019 and everybody starts deciding they're ready to exercise, but maybe you get a jump on it. Maybe you start in 2018, like the last few days of 2018, and you get an exercise schedule in. Like maybe 2 days where you are going to set aside and at least take a walk. And maybe this is where you take a walk by yourself and you kind of reflect on your year or the things that you have accomplished, all the things that you've worked hard to do. And this is not a time for you to take a walk and beat yourself up. This is a time for you to think about things that you've done well and what are you going to do just as well, if not even better, from 2019. And how about yoga? Like I recently, actually it's been a little over a year and a half that I've been practicing yoga, and I've been doing hot yoga, which is pretty intense. And has been one of the best things for me. In fact, it's been so great that I've decided I wanted to be a yoga teacher. So I've been taking the training for yoga teaching, and it's pretty intense. It's a lot of anatomy and physiology, which has been a long time since I've even looked at stuff like that. And it has been a pretty grueling schedule of training and really learning. And I love it. But one thing about yoga is that it has been the only form of exercise that I have been able to find where I completely get outside of my own head. And I don't know about you, but I need a time when I'm outside of my own brain. And yoga is really good for you. Like it heals you from the inside out. It helps you with your strength and flexibility. it again, it helps you get out of your own head, and it helps get rid of toxins, especially if you're doing hot yoga, because you have no other choice but to sweat them out. And I'm talking like majorly sweat them out. But it's so it like plays what the practice plays into what's happening in real life. Like you need strength and you need flexibility in your day-to-day existence. And sometimes you actually need to get out of your mind and think only about what's going on in that exact moment. So that's the beauty of yoga. That's a suggestion. Also, how about say no? This is a really huge one for this time of year. And I definitely need to take my own advice because I'm actually having Christmas Eve dinner with my mom and my kids and my ex-husband. And it's been almost 5 years since we got divorced. And yet I'm still having Christmas dinner with him. I mean, when you share children, you do things that you wouldn't otherwise think you were going to do. And sometimes you tell yourself it's for the better of the kids, but it sometimes is a little bit confusing. So I need to be able to say no. I need to learn to say no, and not feel guilty, but know that I'm saying no for my own reasons and to better take care of myself. And I think that in this time of like feeling guilty and obligated, there's a lot of obligations during this holiday time. Find something where you can say no. No, thank you. And you obviously don't have to be mean about it or hurt people's feelings, but sometimes you have to put yourself first so that you can take care of others. It always makes me think of that oxygen mask scenario on an airplane. They tell you to put the mask on yourself first before you put it on even on your own child. So you have to take care of yourself or you're not going to be able to take care of others. Another great idea to take care of yourself is to get a pedicure. Like, I know I'm in desperate need of that. A pedicure or manicure, something that's a little bit lavishing for yourself, where you feel like you are kind of the center of attention and you are being waited upon and people are taking care of you. And like, it can be a really powerful thing. It can make you feel a lot better. Another thing to take care of yourself, how about meditation? Meditation can be really powerful, especially if you use it to imagine, like you're breathing with a full 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out through your nose. It really helps calm your central nervous system. But you're kind of like imagining and using imagery to visualize what you want your life to be, how you want to be living your daily life. And maybe that's down to like, I'm going to respond. I'm going to wait before I respond. I'm going to think about what I say before I say it. Or I'm going to take better care of myself. And I'm going to be kind to myself and not beat myself up. You know, meditation can be a really powerful practice. Here's a good one. Go to bed early. Like, yes, I said to sleep in, but go to bed early some nights. And you might not be able to do this necessarily on Christmas Eve, but maybe you can do this on some of the other nights of the break. Go to bed and get some sleep. Drive around and look at Christmas lights. Maybe that's something you do alone, or maybe that's something you do a special moment you have with your children or your family. And it can be really relaxing and soothing to like look at the lights and how beautiful it is and really take in the beauty of the season. Because as we know, Christmas and the commercialism, it's so much more than that. So take it in. How about pick up the phone and talk to a friend? I mean, how many days do you have to actually spend time talking to a friend? Probably not a lot because you're on the go constantly. Pick somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while that just brings you pure joy and give them a call. Spend some time talking to them. How about organizing a room in your house? Like, I know whenever it was a break, that sounds like work, but like for some people, especially for me, when I have things organized in my space around me, it helps me feel like I'm organized in my thoughts. So that's something that I do to take care of myself. I don't do a great job at that, and a lot of times I put it off until I have to do it. But once I'm doing it, it kind of like it helps me. So if that's something that helps you, then definitely do that. Now, if that's something that stresses you out, since this is about self-care, you're going to avoid it. Hire someone for that. Maybe that's a Christmas present. Speaking of Christmas, watch a favorite Christmas movie. Spend some time just relaxing and watching a movie that makes you laugh and brings back good memories. Or it doesn't even have to be a Christmas movie. It can be any movie. It can be a good chick flick. I'm telling you, sometimes those kinds of movies, the romance and the happiness, sometimes that actually can boost your spirits. What about going and watching Ellen's new show? It is out by the time that this podcast comes out. It debuted on or premiered on Netflix on December 18th. So she was gone back to stand up, and if you are an Ellen DeGeneres fan like I am, then go watch her special because I am positive it's going to be hilarious. I know that all of her other stand up shows that she's done in the past, like she had some on HBO in the past, that I used to just think were hilarious. I left or finished watching and I just felt like I had had like a massive release because it was just so much fun to just laugh, and I think she's hilarious. So I think that's something that you can do to take care of yourself. And another favorite of mine, speaking of shows, is a dance party. If you are a fan of Grey's Anatomy, when it used to be Meredith and Christina, which I loved when it was that, then they used to have a one person or two people dance party, and it was so fun. And I've actually tried that in my kitchen, and it works. So if you're like in the midst of stress and what am I going to cook for dinner and who's going to come over and how do I get the Christmas presents wrapped and all those kinds of crazy things that go on during this time of year, then just stop and take two songs, not even just one, take two songs and dance it out. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel a whole lot better. And you can dance as crazy or as spazzy as you want to. And this is another one of my favorite things to do for self-care, and that is to start writing in a gratitude journal. This is a practice that I did several years ago, and I was really diligent about it for a long time. Every day I wrote down three things that I was thankful for. And some days they were the same things, and some days they just happened to be that I had a comfy pillow, or that it was a record day and I didn't have students in my classroom, or it was that I found my favorite pen. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big, profound thing that you're grateful for, but when you start looking at life in the what am I grateful for rather than the scarcity of what do I not have, when you start looking at things you're grateful for, it really changes your perspective. I actually created a gratitude journal for kids, and I think anybody could use it, and I'll link to it in the show notes. It has a gratitude quote for each day, and then you write down three things that you're grateful for. And this can be something that you do daily. It can also be something that you do weekly. It really will change the way that you look at things. So take that in consideration. And then my last one is read a book on the couch. Just cuddle up on the couch with a favorite for fun book, not anything serious or I've got to learn about the culture of schools or what's whole brain teaching or what's standards-based grading or anything like that. A just for fun book that where you can escape into another world and leave behind the chaos. These are important things that I've suggested that you try, and I know there's tons more ideas out there. So start thinking about what you can do to take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, and you're giving constantly, because that's what we do in education. We're giving. And that's what we're about, because you don't go into this profession really for any other reason. So you're constantly giving to others. So it's time to give to yourself. It's important to give back to yourself so that you can take care of others. I wish that you have a incredible 2 weeks off and that you like your stress level goes way down to zero. I know that's probably not realistic, but I do hope that you have a very Merry Christmas, and I'm excited about the things that are coming in 2019, and I hope that you will join me as we kind of travel through education together in the next coming year. And thank you for being a part of my 2018. And if you like what you hear, subscribe at the bottom, leave a rating, write a review. I would truly appreciate it. All right, this one tired teacher is getting ready to wrap up 2018 and take a long winter's nap. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care and sleep tight.